What's going on, guys? We have a little install that we're adding to the S13 today. This is not something the car needs by any means, but I want to add it anyways just because I love the fact of hot lapping. I like the idea of it. I hate the idea of having to cool down, pull off all the time just because the car is getting too hot. And if you guys don't know, JZ's run really hot. I've always had problems with having to do cool down laps, trying to pull off track because my car got a little hot and whatnot, and it's kind of annoying. I'm gonna be honest, I love the JZ, but it gets hot and it overheats, and it's really annoying having to pull off track all the time just so you can cool the car down. Pulling off, trying to spray your radiator down, that way it can help cool down quicker and whatnot. So obviously the main thing that we did to prevent that was the bigger Dural fans. These fans are 2200 CFM each, so collectively 4400 CFM together. I believe it's going to be more than enough to cool down the radiator, especially because you have a sealed off shroud. But to just help, we have this, and we also have a little tank coming in, which unfortunately we don't have at this very second, but for you guys, you'll see it later on in this video. We're just going to start the install with what I have now, and as parts come in, we're just going to keep throwing it on and filming it. But yeah, I'm just going to start the install now, that way we can just get ahead. That way we don't have to do everything all at once in one day. Adam LZ, you guys will know that he, in his Quan JZ coupe car, in the back of his car, this whole back area, all of this, it's filled with like a 30-gallon tank, I believe, a water tank. And essentially, he had someone make a water sprayer system and he put a 30-gallon tank in the back of just water. And it's constantly throwing water at the radiator to cool it down. Or if you follow his JZX, his chaser, you would know that obviously this is a 13, but in the back of his chaser, he put the smaller 15-gallon tank in the back here for water sprayers as well. But it's a little overkill, I feel like, but I'm just going to put a 1-gallon tank here. It's actually a windshield washer reservoir with a pump in it. I'm just going to bolt it onto the side here. That way it's nice and tucked away in the corner on the opposite side of the battery. And we're going to run the hose all the way up to the front. And I'm thinking up here is where I'm going to have our flat bar. And I'm going to bend it up to make a nice flat bracket. But it's essentially going to go in here, bolt on, but flatten out. And it's going to hold our windshield washer nozzles. That way it can spray water. So when you turn on the windshield washer pump in the reservoir that we're going to have in the back, it's going to send water up to the front and out the nozzles and spray it towards the radiator. And this helps it cool down. Not the water itself isn't cooling down the radiator. It's actually the water being evaporated, which transfers the heat away from the radiator and evaporates it. So if you guys don't know what I'm saying, the water is going to help cool down this. We're going to have probably 2 that's spraying to the radiator, and depending on if I have extra, or depending on the spray pattern, to be honest, I might just have 1 to the radiator and 1 to the intercooler, because it's going to be the bracket here. But if not, we're for sure going to put 2 on the radiator, and maybe if I have extra, put 1 facing the intercooler, just to help cool everything down. The basic idea is that, for the bracket at least, this aluminum is pretty soft and can bend. So I'm probably going to put the end in the vise here. And as you see, it's facing down, or angled down. And I'm just going to bend it so where it bolts onto the bracket nice and flat. When it comes down to the center, it folds up. And when it comes down to this side, it's going to fold back down. That way it's just one bracket. We don't have to do any cutting or L brackets or whatnot. And aluminum is really soft and flimsy anyways, so we shouldn't have a problem. So let's go ahead and take it to the vise and try to bend it. So it should be really simple. We're just going to stick this in the vise here. That should be good. And we're just going to take our adjustable wrench and twist it. So hopefully we're going to be able to twist it enough. I'm just going to try to do it up here a little bit more. As you can see, it's twisting really easily. I don't really know how much we need, so I'm going to stop about there and see where it lines up with the car. pretty much flat. It lines up pretty good with that, nice and flat. Or we can do it on this side. But either way, it's flat on there so we can bolt it down. And on here is gonna be flat so we can bolt the washer nozzles on. So all we gotta do now is bend this side and make sure we bend it the right way. All right, here's our finalized bracket. We still have to drill some holes, bolt it down. As you can see, that mounting point is level with that mounting point for the most part, and it twists up. So when this gets bolted on to our support here, just like that, or something like that, it bolts on nice and flush, and then it has a flat surface for our nozzles to go onto. So let's just go ahead and drill some holes and get it mounted up, mocked up, and we'll go ahead and take it back out, smoothen out the edges, and get her painted. We got our rib nuts in there. You know me, I like to do my rib nuts. It's not strong. It's not the strongest thing, but you know what? It ties the two headlights together, which probably still has no structural rigidity. But it has a flat surface here with the bends. Now we can get our windshield washer sprayers and bolt them straight down, and they can spray right on the radiator. Just go ahead and get these unboxed and drill the holes for those. Look, we got our sprayers here, our hypersonic nozzles, and if you look closely, it actually has a little bushing here that points up. So it actually points the nozzle itself upwards. So when it does spray, it's not going to spray straight here. It's going to spray up and out right here. So with them pointed up like that, you can't really tell on camera, but they are in fact pointed up. The spray pan should go from here and spray up and like around here somewhere, I'm assuming. Either way, it's gonna spray up and wide, and it's gonna get here and it can drizzle down as it wants, and it should cover the whole radiator, be able to keep it cool. And once the pump and the reservoir comes in, we'll go ahead and get some line, plumb it up, wire it up, and then we can run the line somewhere hidden and low key, have it come out and plumb into there and tee into that one. So once that stuff comes in, we'll go ahead and install that. So for you guys, it'll be right about now. Oh wait, sorry. Right about now. Man, these snaps stuck. Alright, what about now? Wheel spacers here, which is not part of this video, but just so you guys know, we're putting some wheel spacers in the front to fix that little gap issue. But we got our washer hose, 6 feet in each case, so we got 12 feet. Hopefully it'll be enough. If not, I'll get more. And the most important part is our 1 gallon washer reservoir with the pump. Honestly, guys, it says 1 gallon. It's supposed to be 4 quarts or 4 liters, whatever equals a gallon. But it looks a little small. So tell me what you guys think on ratio to my hand, or to something you guys can see, to the glass. Does it look like a gallon to you guys? Let me know in the comments down below. But we're gonna go ahead and install this back here. We're gonna use this corner here, like I said before, opposing to the battery. We're gonna have it sit right there, bolt it in. And we're gonna have our hose and our wires to plug in there. I'm gonna try to do it cleanly as possible, but at the end of the day, if it works, it works. So we got the reservoir bolted in the 4 corners, nice and sturdy. The thing's not gonna go anywhere. We're starting to work on the routing of the line itself. So you can see here it comes from the pump out into this little grommet there. I put a little radiator hose in there just to insulate so it doesn't rub through. Then it comes out over here, follows the wheel well, and it's zip tied up, and it's nice and not tight. As you can see, it's still loose, but it doesn't have enough slack to fall into the wheel. Comes over here and it goes into this T, which unfortunately the assortment of things I got, I couldn't tell, but they're all T's. Like, I didn't see that they were all T's, so there's no straight connectors. So I had to improvise a little bit. Got the T capped off one end, so now it's just a straight, so not a big deal. This is not really important anyways, it's just kind of to help. So my dilemma now is trying to figure out where to route this hose. I don't know if I want to route it under the carpet inside of the car, and into the engine bay, or trying to find a hole that I can get under the car, right under the car with like the fuel lines. Not 100% sure, so I got to think about it. Plus tomorrow we got to get more line, because as you can see, if I can hold on to it, it only comes up to here, and that's not even routed properly. It's probably going to be even shorter once I route it where it needs to go. So we need to buy another, well, we have the junctions now, but we need to find more hose that way we can carry it on all the way up to the front. One cable all hooked up, the hose ran. Power cable is not hooked up because I still got to run it under the carpet, so we got to temporarily, as you can see, very temporary. I actually stole the power off of the fuel pump just so I can test if the pump works, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I tested it, and we only have the hose up to here. We gotta get it more hose and we can put it up to the front. But as you can see, it's pointed that way, and like I said, I have it connected to the fuel pump right now. So I turn that switch on. Yeah, that thing's pretty strong. I didn't think it was gonna be that powerful, so maybe we will have enough pump to be able to run 3 nozzles, but it's definitely gonna be enough to spray what we needed to. Now we gotta dry up this whole area. Alright, I don't really know where I left off, but I got the hose routed through the car. It comes out right here for the meantime. Tomorrow we're gonna route that. We went ahead and wired it pretty much properly this time. We got the wire running through the car, underneath, crosses over, and through my little harness. I didn't choose a great place I didn't think about this when I was building the harness, but it is really hard to get to my relay panel there. So if you can tell, I'm kind of out of breath because trying to get under the dash with the cage and the halo seats and all this, it's really hard. So when we redo my wiring, we're definitely going to move that to easier to reach spot, because yes, it's super hidden and clean right there, but super hard to get to, super impractical. If something goes wrong in there, it's going to be very hard. But nonetheless, I got the power cables hooked up to switch number 8. Now we got to put all this back together, and tomorrow we'll get ahead and start doing the rest of the tubing, and we can see if it finally works. Alright, so we ran out of hose yesterday. It's a new day. We actually went to Lowe's this time, and we got, it's the same pretty much tubing, but it's clear, no big deal. It's not for aesthetics, it's just as long as it works. We got 20 feet of this for like $6. The 2 lines that I got that were only 12 feet was like $15. Like, I should have went to Lowe's to begin with. But let's go ahead and finish plumbing this up. That way we can get the finish back on and get her on the trailer. And I'll tell you guys why we have the trailer in just a few seconds. Alright, so it's all plumbed up now, but we're having an issue. I don't know if you can tell. It's actually, I don't know if it's gravity feeding that. Everything's lined up as you can see, but it just keeps spilling water all over the place. So I don't really know how to stop that properly, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back here. It looks like it's constantly getting water from here. I'm gonna cut a T cut it right there, and essentially just cap it. Or I might just pull the hose straight off of this and then cap that. That way it doesn't, because look, this was full and it's almost drained now. So we're just gonna do that for now. But before I cap it off, I'm just gonna go ahead and try it, see how it sprays. So it looks like it's spraying right there and right there. So I'm probably gonna angle it up that way it sprays just a little bit higher. But yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, I found a solution to our problem. I just got a hose and I ran it all the way up above the tank. So what was happening, it was gravity draining it. The hose went straight from the pump down. All this water from this level was just pushing its way out. So now that this hose comes out and over above the tank, higher than the tank actually, it can't gravity feed, so it won't drain the water unless the pump is actually on. So now you can see Nothing is pouring out of the nozzles, and we are all good to go. So let's go ahead and get this up, load it into the trailer, and I'll explain why we are putting it on the trailer. Alright, so some of you guys may be confused of why we have the S13 on the trailer, and it's because we're getting it aligned. Nothing big, we're just taking it to my work tomorrow. Like, the car's not registered at the moment, it has no plates, and it's a million different colors. So I don't want to risk driving it to work. So we just borrowed our trailer from Spencer. Thank you, Spencer. If you're watching this, I really appreciate you. But we got the window sprayers done. We have the car loaded up on the trailer. Tomorrow we're going to bring it to work and go ahead and get it aligned. But that'll be in another video or just on my Instagram or something like that. It's not really a huge thing that I'm doing, just literally getting it aligned. But nonetheless, we are loaded up, and windshield washer sprayers are now installed. We fixed all our issues. It works perfectly fine. So thank you guys for watching. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.